for you today, but before we get into that, we need to remind you about Miami. Of course, that will be following Anaheim, and that will be the conclusion of Pro League as the playoffs. Super excited to get down there. I'm not really looking forward to the humidity. I don't know if any of you guys are.
I
The
am.
sun and the beach will be great.
Wait to be in Miami. I've never been there before. And I looked up the convention center, and guess what? It's literally steps from the beach.
Oh,
Steps
wow.
Do you think that's going to be a good thing or a bad thing?
It's going to be a
That's
good
going to be a
thing for me, man.
fantastic
That's
thing.
great.
You know, before call time, I'm going to be on the beach.
We're going to be looking good.
Maybe sipping a pina colada, some water, and then I'm going to show up and I'm going to
Beautiful fans and everything.
Amazing.
And now you did see it on your screen, though. Team passes are also available. So definitely get those, come there, compete, and join us. But now, as I said, we do have one more series left, and that is going to be Faze Clan versus Gen G. And I want to focus on Gen G a little bit. First study, of course, they've been looking strong, but as we've been saying, they're still looking for that X factor to push them above and beyond.
Yeah, watching Gen G last week, they went 1-3, and that's just something we did not expect coming out of this team. The only match they won last week, I'm pretty sure, was versus Midnight, and it was like a 3-0 fashion. But Gen G just didn't have that clutch factor. I remember that series versus EG, and they were up 100 points in that Arsenal. They needed like 6 points to win, and they just couldn't close it out. And the vibes and everything was just completely murdered after that. But if you have this guy on your team, this guy's an absolute animal. Envoy, he's been putting on an absolute show. I know in the beginning we gave him a lot of criticism just in general for the switch when they were 6-1, but overall, this guy is an absolute beast. I feel like he's the best player on the team for me.
Yeah, I mean, Gen G just had a bad week, so if they're able to put that last week behind them, I think that we're going to look to see them bounce back this week for sure.
I agree.
In Columbus, traditionally, they're one of the strongest teams.
Yeah.
That's why we go so hard on them, is because we know that they're right on the edge of being a championship team. They just have to figure out how to get over that hump.
Now, let's talk about Faze Clan, because, of course, Gen G has that hump to get over, but Faze as well, that roster slowly starting to come together more and more nameless, and I believe as of last week, their respawns, they're 8-1, so doing very well there.
Yeah, they're doing great, right? Like, they almost had a flawless week. If they were able to win that Game 5 against Optic Gaming, we'd be looking at this team like, wow, what an improvement from the last event. Obviously, last event, they got 3-0 by Optic, so they pushed them to Game 5, so there's a lot of improvement there, and, you know, they've just been looking good ever since, and these guys, they're vibing on all fronts right now. Everybody's really confident in each other. You have Celium, who's just developing into, you know, an all-star player right now. He's had some crazy, outstanding performances. His Search and Destroy, in particular, has been great for me to watch because that's what I expect him to be great at coming into the Pro League, because that's what he was great at before, and now he's finally shining.
Well, I think we saw that too, of course, with Zero. He was just walking by the desk a minute ago, and you asked him, you know, are you vibing? He said, always. So
I wasn't even looking at him. He goes, yo, Ant. I turned around. He goes, I'm vibing. So, all right, Trey. Good luck in your match.
No, that's certainly true. And I mean, I think, again, this is Pac-Man, maybe also like Evil Genius is a team that's really starting to show like so much promise in what they can turn into.
Yeah, I mean, before London, they thought that they were already in that mode where they could win a championship. They were so confident going into that event. Unfortunately, they ran into Optic early and then got bounced out by Luminosity, but they're a team that has confidence in themselves. They're like one of the better respawn teams already. Going up against Gen G, this is going to be a hell of a match because both these teams are so good in respawns. It might come down to who can win those clutch S&Ds.
Yeah.
Well, it certainly will be a hell of a match. That's why we asked you on Twitter using the hashtag CWLPS4, who do you think is going to come out on top, Faze Clan or Gen G? And Squid says Faze takes it. They're too hot, and Gen G has been on the decline. Selling Scraps will dominate the series.
Well, I feel like it's going to be, if it goes down, if Faze is going to take it, they're going to have to pull out an S&D, and that's just something that I feel like Gen G is going to be powerful in, but we'll see.
Well, and then we have Daniel. Envoy has been on a terror recently. Gen G in 5.
I mean, I feel like if Gen G wins it, they're going to have to win it before 5. I think that if it goes to the game 5, they're going to be a bit in their head, and we'll see.
It's tough for me to see Gen G, like, winning 2 respawns against this team. Just after what I've seen.
I mean, they 3-0'd LG and Splice. Like, before LG fell off, they 3-0'd them last tournament.
No, it's just Phases look so good in respawn, and like Gen G, I don't know. I feel like they've been great at Search and Destroy in the past, and that's where Faze has been kind of weak on. I feel like where they capitalize is both Search and Destroys and taking a hard point on the back of like Major Maniac and Envoy going big, but it's tough. I don't know.
Well, we do have one more tweet, so let's see what Patrick had to say. 3-1 to Faze. Their respawns are on another level.
So he's basically saying what you're saying.
Yeah.
That Faze is going to wipe the floor with them in the respawns.
Wipe the floor. I don't know about wipe the floor.
That's, I mean, this Faze is on another level.
This is what I'm saying.
I think that Gen G's getting slept on because they had a bad week.
That's what I'm saying. Here, this is how it's going to go. You ready? You ready? It's going to go final moments. of 2 of the respawns. It's going to be Hardpoint and Control.
It always goes final
It's
moments.
going to go final moments, and Genji's going to...
That was the wackest
Genji
prediction.
is going to...
That's the wackest prediction I've ever heard.
Genji is going to choke both of them. That's what happens.
That's horrible.
It gets the final moments, and then they just choke.
I felt like FaZe went back this weekend. You know, they're a really good respawn team in general, but I just felt bad. I feel like they went back and just studied their S&D. They're able to improve that. They already got respawns unlocked. That's the only thing they need.
You going Faze?
I'm going FaZe.
I just think that I'm going Genji. I think they're going to bounce back.
Genji's going to choke in the final moments.
I feel like Genji's been a team for longer, and if they play at their highest level, that they'd be just that much better than FaZe. But FaZe is also a really good team, so I wouldn't be shocked.
Anyway, what does my prediction matter? We'll see.
We will certainly see, and we are now ready to get into it. Faze and Genji with Merc and Maven.
Thank you. Prediction-wise, this is actually something we discussed on Trading Shots, and this is one where I ended up saying I actually went Genji because FaZe had that amazing week. Like, they're starting to click. Genji had their worst week they've had as a team, and I just thought, like, this was a tough position. Genji are pissed. They are pissed about last week. They were going to get down, get dirty this weekend, focus up for this particular match, and bring all that anger out on FaZe. That's how I felt about it, but we'll have to wait and see.
That's similar to my mindset. It was sort of the worst week that we've seen from Genji.
Yeah.
Just in terms of what they went 1-3. I mean, obviously they've had their struggles at open tournaments, and at our tournaments. But even then, they've lost to like the best teams there, right? Like it was losses that were like, okay, like that's just tough. We're still waiting for them to beat those really good teams. But besides that, they've taken care of anyone. They've been fundamentally sound. They've been solid across the board. And on the other side, you have FaZe. But yeah, they're brand new. They're still working things out. It's just a redemption week for me for Genji.
Yeah, I just think they're just coming in with different mindsets. Like FaZe, you're riding high, right? Like you're riding high. You guys are playing so well. Everyone's having fun enjoying this honeymoon period as they start to look like they can be a top team within this division, within the world. But Genji are pissed. They've just got to be. It was an embarrassing result last week.
But I think this is a big match for FaZe because you win this match against Shinji and you do it in a convincing way. It's sort of like you start thinking about them being pushing like a top 4 team.
Like a title contender type team.
A title contender type team, because that just means they're playing the correct way, because we know how Genji plays. Their teammates are always on point.
Well, looking across the game modes, is there anything that stands out where maybe one team has a big edge?
Just looking at that frequency hardpoint, very fast-paced map. That and Seaside, you have to talk about the SOGs. That's what it's going to come down to me. SOG gameplay. I think you have 2 very solid duos on Genji and Void. If he can keep it up, he's going to be so tough for FaZe to deal with. But we've seen it's really been a lot less on Zuma and a lot more on Asim, and the way he stepped up for this FaZe roster. You know, when this team was announced, that's sort of what we thought was going to be a bit of a weakness, was that SOG duo, and he's really playing well.
And Zero. Now, rocking that ICR, we know the big shift he's gone through this year. We talked about it a bit on Trading Shots, but he's been sensational. Not really going to be a big thing on a map like Frequency Hardpoint, but he's been really good in his new role. Here we go. Well, never mind. I thought we were getting ready to hop into the gameplay. Not quite yet for Genji FaZe Clan. We'll get ready in a second. Maybe a brief technical issue before we hop into map 1. What's your gut tell you, though? Is it...
My gut is telling me Game 5 Genji.
Okay, so an extended series.
But I could also see like a 3-0 FaZe.
I feel you.
Because I think the desk was right. Like, and it could be because it's like sort of a new set of players with not a lot of history, where the vibes right now are just at such a high level. Typically, there's always relationships. Like, everybody sort of knows each other on a personal level, and those things can build up over time. For these FaZe guys, it's like just brand new. Like, everybody's working hard. They all have one goal in mind. They've all come from like different parts. You had Asim and Celium, who just were amateurs an event ago, and now they're on a pro team. Zuma, who's really on his redemption arc, and then Scraps and Zero, who, they just want to win a title.
Such big expectations with that Red Reserve team, but we watch it dissolve.
Yes, we did.
But now we've loved what we've seen out of this new FaZe roster. A tough pill to swallow, a tough loss at London, but since then they haven't looked back. I like the way they've just rebounded, put it in their past, and come to play here at the Pro League. But this is a tall order against Genji. Now we're ready to get into map 1, and as you can see on the mini-map, everybody's soaring in. Asim up against the other grapple player, but Who will be left at the end of the bloodbath? It's a one-on-one. It's a ring around the rosy we go, and Nagafin able to come out on top as everyone's sprinting back to the mix.
Isn't it crazy? It always comes down like a 1 versus 1 or like a team kill. I don't know what it is.
Almost always. It's just a 5-on-5 fight. Unless someone does something insane, it's literally, yeah, 1 man left. Havoc tries to hit the slide, but Scrap's able to take his head off. Major Maniac there, though, for the instant trade. Gen.G, all the points in their favor so far. They've got control of the right spawn as well. As you had number 4 in Envoy pop. They're still looking good for the next hard point. This could be a very strong start from Gen.G. Faze will get a bit of scrap time, but the big thing is going to be setting up this opening push over towards the orange base.
Yeah, there's only 4 seconds left on this hill. Faze does not have the positioning that they want right now. Nagafin and Mox, they're going to get taken down, but not before Naga finds 2. So you see those players spawn out towards pipe. Trade still going the way of Gen.G, and with those close spawns, this is great for them. A bit of a staggered push right now from Faze. You see a couple of players just a little bit further ahead, but doesn't matter after Scraps finds 2, and it should. So Gen.G holding on.
Havoc and Envoy, they peek right out from orange, and they're able to pick up those kills.
Good Naga's position as well. He spawns out. This is basically a setup from the spawns that he got, not able to find any. Allows Mox, though, to find 2, and now we're just going to flip.
Yeah, he does the damage. He turns some heads. He's able to make the play to alleviate the pressure from orange. But this will be a significant lead now for Gen.G. How quickly can they get to the outward balcony at blue to maybe push the tempo, try to get a break, and if they can do that, you could have a massive lead in the early going. Now all the pressure to Faze Clan to get an early hold, but you've already got 1 player up inside the window. That's Havoc. That's a big one-on-one win from Asim. Just make sure they can get a little bit of breathing room. 2 players spawn out pretty deep. That's 6 and 10. That's going to be Scraps and Zero just trying to race back to get to the action. Make sure they have elevator control as well, and kind of splitting the push from Gen.G.
Well, this is what they want. If they get the kills, they'll spawn at Gen.G out by pipes. You'll see them spawn right now. Look how far away they are. When you control elevator, when you control the backside of blue base, this is a perfect setup right now for Faze. A great execution on those rotation kills in that first push. So now what does Gen.G do? They try to take top mid control. They're trying to rotate on over through this elevator area, but you have Zero with this ICR. They're trying to get a bit of a contestant, and they will, but it's just 1 player.
Well,
Major Maniac does find 2, but he's not able to contest.
So you get no points for Gen.G on this hard point. You end up getting, what, about 50 or so for Faze Clan, and they're right back in the hunt. Asim using the grapple just to get into the action on rotation as quickly as possible. Havoc, though, has his number. Somehow, Celium staying alive despite the fact they take some damage in from the cluster. Asim's Lightning connects on 2. Nagafin now in trouble, just trying to finesse around and make the play, but the pressure here from Faze. It's a contest in the early going. Faze Clan now are going to be in. Zero a chance to get streaks, now only 15 points off. You already saw how impactful it was from Asim. Can they get some more tools to their side?
Yeah, he's just trying to put some a bullet in someone, get those 100 points, or just get on the hill and get the 15 from the time. Not overcommitting. No, he doesn't have some help. Mox able to get away, but the time, the plus 50 will go to Zero, and there we go. Able to find both the Lightning and the Hellstorm. Full streaks for Zero on a 6 spree. A great game from him, and a great response from Faze after the first 2 hills go all the way to Gen.G. The next 2 go the way of Faze, and we have a tie game.
We'll see if Faze can now clean it up at elevators. They've made their run. Tie game, 79-79. Let's get to an Astro Gaming listen-in with Faze Clan.
Yeah, I'm stalling him. Gotta kill him.
Watch out, Mox in hill.
Yeah, dead. Come orange.
It is quick.
Go, guys, come on.
I'm in point. Two. One right side of mid. Nice. I got a trophy for you. I game it. Come on.
There's two there. They're grappling. It doesn't have slap.
I have a helmet.
Shoot him. I'm spawn.
200. Make them slide. Help me with the sliding.
I am. I don't think there's a lot there.
Shoulder, man. Shoulder.
Yo,
Two mid. I don't see anything.
I need over the back, bro.
They're all middle. I'm backing up. I have streaks. Top window.
Spawning, Japan.
I'm out.
I have streaks.
I'm on hold.
Mid. Swiddle. 2-0. Give me a sec. We need to get this go. Stay alive.
Palm salute, Trey.
One shot. Mox, one shot.
Take our time.
I left. Get
Hey, I'm gonna streak.
Winning.
Yeah, he's up. Put it dead. One on the back.
Let me bomb orange.
They're gonna spawn on you, Cell. They're alive, sir.
Bomb orange, absolute. Bomb orange, absolute. Bomb orange.
Bomb orange.
One hill.
Nice, just bomb in the back.
Bomb orange. Bomb orange MP on your right.
I need it.
I'm standing left. I stand left. He's behind you.
Nice.
Nice. 4.
Making us one out.
Let's go.
Someone help me a node.
I'm going.
Someone help me a node.
We're good.
He's back there. Yo, he could spawn behind you. Yeah, yes.
Top of window. I'm gonna need help middle.
One's elbow.
We went into it basically a tie game. Now Faze a chance to push it out to 20. I think Mox had a nice play. He gets the spawns for them for Gen G to make sure Faze don't rip off 4 hard points in a row, but really it ends up being kind of the streaks that bail Faze out.
Yeah, I mean, those streaks add just a little bit extra utility. The Tempest came in from Gen G. Now it's going to come out from Celium. He's not able to connect with much, but yeah, we talk about fundamentals in Gen G, the way they play. When you just talk to teams, they get it, they understand it, and that was a great play by Mox. Not only does he find a kill on rotation, he's able to push up to elbow after that and find 2 more kills, but the Lightning is able to come on through. But now Faze, they're able to fight their way on the blue base with a 30-point lead. This was what Des was talking about. Such a strong respawn team that we've seen from them so far.
And you were talking about Asim, what you've loved out of him.
Yep.
He's having a monster map at 21-12. The TAC 5 did come in from Faze, as they're still holding on to orange. Grouping up at pipes now will be Gen G. You still have that lightning strike from Zero to work with. Maybe get a break. The Purifier from Zero at least able to get 1 kill on the other end. Celium doing the damage he can. Zero gonna get stunned, but the Purifier, it's not enough at close range. It looks like the fist stronger than fire when you're up close.
Well, yeah, Flash Jacket, yeah, it certainly helps. And that player had Flash Jacket on, just allows them to use that. But there's another streak from Zero. Held onto that lightning strike, keeps them out of the hill, forces them into pipes. But Envoy's gonna respond with the help of Major Maniac and Havoc. Mox, they're all getting kills. A big hold for Gen G to see if they can get them right back in this game.
Down 30 with 30 remaining. Havoc goes for the grab slam and ends up connecting onto 2. We saw a big one from Asim just a couple hard points ago. Havocs will help secure this final time, which will bring it to basically a tie game.
I mean, that was a lot though, right? Like, you use the War Machine, you have used the grab slam there. Zero won't have Purifier for this hill on elevator. Nagafin's getting close. This is when you want it, when you want to have it, is on this elevator hill. But due to Naga's really poor performance at double negative, he's not going to have it. We'll see if that impacts it. It doesn't look like it is. Mox and Major Maniac, they're going to find a couple of kills. But not a lot of specialists left for Gen G. Some of the FaZe clan members starting to load on up.
Zuma. He gets 2 entries, gets them into the hard point, as now they start to accrue the time. The pinch comes in from Gen G. Zuma still trying to play around the edge. Finally will get dropped, but then it's 2 from Asim. The Sog duo getting it done. 3 from Asim now as he connects with the fist and the bullet to make Havoc drop. Mox once again gonna try and push all the way around pipes to try and get set up early, but this time Faze is set up.
Yeah, Faze is ready for this because it was such a clean hold from Zuma and Asim inside the hill. They know where Gen G is coming from. A very high grapple is going to get 1 player towards the back. Major Maniac and Nagafin, they get the kills they want. Now Zero's here. Can he find a kill? Nice teamwork from Gen G. And again on this rotation, just beautiful teamwork to secure the back and get hill control.
I thought FaZe had the players there to hold, but what a break it was to make sure you get the spawns. But the lead, even though we're talking about these great plays from Gen G, the lead is still to FaZe. They're up 50 right now. Gen G have got to hold on to the orange side. And so far, they are trying to do just that. Zuma will get dropped. Still, Celium, a chance to make a play. He's done such a good job inside of the hard point, allows his teammates to get back into the mix. They're 19 points away from closing out this map 1.
Nagafin has Purifier if he can get there. Major Maniac has the Tempest as well, but there's Scraps with the War Machine, able to find 1. They're just trying to hold the front door. Just 10 more seconds needed for FaZe. There you see Naga in the kill feed with the Purifier out, able to find 2. Is that going to open things up for Gen G to at least contest? He's spraying able to get those kills that he's looking for, and Genji's going to send it to another hill, and they have the spawns for the next one, so they're just able to hold on.
And Envoy gets all the way to the back to make sure they've got the spawn. Nagafin still roasting FaZe Clan and so close to picking up some streaks. Can he get the kills here? There's one more. He knows it. Back elbow. Just one kill needed. How crucial these streaks.
Does that player just jump off? Do you just jump off right there if you're a team? Just taking your time, being so patient. And his patience is going to pay off. Just able to back on up. Major Maniac, though, able to hold that towards Elevator. And Gen.G, they have a chance at least to send us to this Pipes Hill.
FaZe developing the next push. Scraps will get the first pick. Nagafin, though, there to answer. Scraps finds the second as he tries to push in through to Orange. Scraps, the slide is there, but just can't connect on the shots. All the time going the way of Gen.G. They're going to get this to Pipes, but they still need to make sure they get these final seconds. Can't allow FaZe to really get anything in this spot. FaZe is set up great, though, at Pipes. Gen.G have got to do something. The only specialist you have is Major Maniac. With the Tempest, he's going to drop Phaser in, and FaZe will hold on to get the map 1 victory on Frequency.
Got a little scary there. You remember that slow start from Nagafin at 10 and 22. He ended up finishing at like 21 and 25. So he really turned things around. It was behind that Purifier
late
play.
Purifier almost like paid off.
Yeah, it almost paid off right inside of that Orange Hill. I mean, it's probably good on any of the, you know, those first 3 inside those bases. But FaZe with the hot start behind that Saw duo, the big plays from them. If they can play that way with how good we know Scraps and Cellium have been on the Maddoxes, like, you have a complete team from top to bottom where, like, yeah, you can compete with the best.
And that might be the hardest mode to beat a team like Gen.G, and we know how good they've been at hardpoint. Yeah, the search and destroy when you first brought in Envoy was a little hit or miss. They've improved there, but hardpoint-wise, they've been very, very good. Typically making the right plays, typically closing out those games, but there, it's FaZe that get it done, and Asim, who was the hero for FaZe Clan in the first map, did talk to Jess before we got into this.
Thank you, Clint. That's right. And yeah, Asim is very optimistic coming into this match. He says we just already match up really well versus Gen.G, and then with them coming off of a rough week, that just gives us more of an advantage. However, over on the side of Gen.G, I did speak with Envoy, and he disagrees. He said even though it was the first time we've gotten 3-0'd, we just put it out of our mind. We all hate losing, so we're not even going to think about it. He did admit he wasn't really sure what to expect for this series. He told me could go any map count either way, just wasn't sure what to expect. So, Clint and Joe, back over to you guys.
I think that reflects sort of how we felt about it. Like, it could be a 5-game Gen.G win, could be a 3-0 from FaZe. It's hard to tell just because I think we, for the most part, know what we're going to get out of Gen.G typically, but last week kind of left a question mark heading into this week. And for FaZe, yes, we're all kind of behind the hype right now with how well they play, but it's still a small body of work where they've been excellent.
Yeah, we just, even with Gen.G, like, we know how they perform, but at like the tournaments, like we're just, what are they? Like, who are they? How good of a team are they? And for FaZe, they're just trying to solidify themselves, you know, continue to improve. But yeah, we talked about it. For Gen.G, this is sort of a bounce back week where they went 1-3. It's the first time we've seen them struggle at the Pro League. Can they bounce back? This is sort of that first, you know, point of adversity that they're dealing with, you know, at Pro League.
Even after everything we've seen from Gen.G and their record in the Pro League, just based on the roster from FaZe and how they played this week, do you think it's just a team that has a higher ceiling? They start clicking.
Yes.
I thought that'd be your answer.
It's also, it's tough because you look at the FaZe team and you see their resumes, right? Like Gen.G, a lot of these guys are so new. They're trying to, you know, just make their mark in the CWL. So maybe in a year, that's a different answer.
Could be. Excited. I mean, that's what's really cool about our jobs. I mean, you've been around forever as a player, as an analyst, as a commentator. I've been doing this quite a while as well, but just seeing the new up-and-coming players get involved in the mix and just wondering, because we've seen young players come in, start strong, and fizzle out. We've seen some come in and just I mean, not make a name for themselves whatsoever. But you have those few that blossom into truly something special, and it's fun to see the early going of those careers. But what a close game it was in map 1, 250 to 243. Now, though, search and destroy on Gridlock.
Yeah, we've seen FaZe play this a couple of times. Very aggressive inside that showers area. Gen.G, a team that can use that sniper on that B streak. Guys like Nagafin able to find those first picks, so we'll see what they give us, but it's going to be Gen.G on attack this first time You're going to have Scraps watching that B Street. He's going to have the help of Zuma. And Celium, he's had some ridiculous plays in the past on this site.
That's true. Maybe the play of the year, thinking all the way back to the Pro League qualifier, even though they don't get a spot.
You had one bright spot.
Asim, so good in map 1. Can he make the play? He tries to slide out. Envoy, though, ready and waiting. 3 versus 3. Now just 2 players left for Gen G. Now all on to Major Maniac. Can he come up with a big clutch? A chance to make it, but not going to be able to get it done. The trade is there. Plenty of time. Faze strike first.
I think I just heard Scraps laughing, and it made me laugh. I don't know, dude. Like,
he's goofy.
Yeah, he's so goofy. Always having a great time on stage.
Well, I think he knows where he's at, man. Like, he's been a guy that's slowly been rising, really since Black Ops 3.
Yep.
Now on one of the most prestigious organizations in the history of Call of Duty. I think he knows, like, he's had his chances, but this is really, really his chance to make a name for himself and maybe find a tournament win. Well, talking through the next round. We'll see what they opt to do offensively. They're going to change it up. All the action today. Now let's get over to the B side of the map. You mentioned Nogafin and his sniper rifle. What information can he get, and can he connect? And the big thing, too, can he get away with his life? And
look at the map control from Gen G. They have basically a 1-3-1 where they have 3 players up the middle. And, well, Nagafin's going to get caught. A nice delayed push, but here comes the reaction from Gen G. Envoy gets caught as well. Havix at least able to bring it back on 1 player, but here comes the slide in. The trade should be there. Nice bait and switch from Faze. Scraps almost able to find Major Maniac. Asim now just trying to stay alive inside Ice Cream.
Now they just have to work this plan. I know they've got 1 bottom house. Mox almost able to catch him. Now they've picked up, and he just goes for it, maybe thinking he can get the kill, or Celium will have the trade. They still have a 2v1, so they're still in an all right spot, but it looked a little bit awkward at first when we tried to push into Ice Cream. But I like the delayed push. I mean, they basically bait out Nogafin, getting into a spot where he can't get away. I mean, we talk about that particular spot so many times. Whoever's playing, whether it's the ICR with a sniper, can you get a pick? And if you can't, can you at least get away with your life for the rotation to come in?
Well, even just Gen G just didn't have a lot of information on the other site. Because you're playing from the middle, you have 3 guys middle. You have 1 guy in showers. His goal is really just to get information, right? And not get picked. It's the same situation basically that Nagafin's playing. Because you have 3 in the middle, you're only looking at the connector. You're waiting for those guys to make a play and react off of that. But because it's so delayed, they're able to catch Naga. Envoy tries to react off that play, but he gets caught.
Gen G want to bring it right back to the A side. Didn't find success, but they have a 5-on-3 right now. They have huge numbers advantage to be able to use that into their favor. Zero trying to get away before the reinforcements get in, but not able to do so. Scraps, last man up. 1 versus 3. 1 tucked away in the close corner. That's Major Maniac that's able to get the final kill. And this time, Gen G behind the numbers and brute force get the round victory.
Big round for Gen G. Don't want to go down 0-3 in the search and destroy. Yeah, it starts with their numbers. They're able to trade out. It felt like Zero just like was staying alive for so long. Then he bumped into Zuma when he was trying to slide in that doorway.
Well, that's all they can do in that spot. Like, until the 2 other players rotate, like, do whatever damage you can, just try to stay up.
Yep.
But by the time they got there, he's really the last man, and he's stuck in a position where he can't get away. So definitely a different defensive hit. Last time, mid-control was a priority for Gen G. This time they force stack A. It's actually mid-pressure from Faze.
Well, they're going to try and catch Naga out again. They're going to try to do it again, and are they able to do so? At least finds 1. Okay, so job done for Nagafin to at least make this a 4 versus 4. But I like the switch up from Faze. They know the way Gen G has been playing Search and Destroy. They've prepped for it. They know Naga likes to play on an island. They don't give him any information. They try to catch him off before the rotation comes in.
Faze Clan not working the bomb plant as of now.
Look at Celium, number 8, bottom of the map. Yeah, you see Paradox had him highlighted and still does. But 1 player was ready for it. That's going to be Havoc, but Celium wins the gunfight.
And that's going to shift all the focus back to him. If he can get a second kill, how brilliant is that? He's able to get 2. Now the plank going down. Major Maniac, the last guy up in a 1v3 clutch scenario. Having him at 1 is tough. 2 is just, that's the round.
That is the round. Yeah, it's on Major Maniac. He has to try to defuse this, and good luck with that in a 1 versus 3.
He's had, there haven't been many 1 versus 3s this year, but he has brought us one of them. They've been far in between, not many at all, but with 20 seconds left, can he give himself another one-on-one? Rips him off the car. This is still manageable. There's just over 15 seconds left. He can hunt down the kill and somehow to get back, but Scraps wisely just backs up. Don't take the gunfight. You know he can heal back up basically instantly. Scraps makes the wise play, but Major Maniac, he makes it interesting there for a moment.
Yeah, and the way Major Maniac played that is why playing this I would have a headache. Just his ability to stay alive with that stim sometimes. You can do some ridiculous things.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked a lot about just how I've been meaning to ask JP, and I know it's a tough stat to get because we've got more maps played this time, but like Pro League last year versus Pro League this year, how many 1v3s and 1v4s we have? I know it's never 5v5, 4v4, but like clutches, like there had to been so many more last year. It's so hard to do because
there
of
was
the
a lot
mechanic.
last year, yeah.
I mean, when I think about 1v3s and 1v4s, I can think of like 3 to 5 off the top of my head. It's not many.
Last year, there was like 3 a week.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's just so different. But if one guy could do it, you see why Major Maniac is on a short list of people maybe capable of it.
It's going to be Scraps sniping. He's going to spot Naga. He hits the hit marker in. Here comes the rest of the pressure from Gen G after the shot comes through. Scraps just has to stay alive. His teammates are here now. Oh, the stick right on the Scraps.
Does such a good job staying alive just to catch a cluster. Big win from Celium, though. Maybe gives him the chance in the round. 3 versus 4. As soon as he peeks, though, he's caught inside of ice cream. And Zuma and Asim, so much work to do, and not much time to do it in. Havoc just waiting up top, waiting to pounce.
Envoy gets taken down. It's a 1 versus 2. It's a 1 versus 2. What has happened? What has happened? What the heck just happened? What did Envoy just do?
Can we get a replay of that? Is it possible to get a replay? We were hopping around so much. I was trying to. What in the hell just happened there?
Well, I was gonna say the one good thing for Faze is there's nobody on the truck, right? There's nobody backside. Envoy, he jumped over.
He couldn't get back in. He couldn't get back in. Are you kidding me? And then Zuma gets 2 right after that. Are you kidding me?
And like I said, because those 3 players were so far pushed up, you had no one in the back truck. You had no one to just watch the bomb. They were just playing their numbers up close and personal.
I just want to see what happened with Envoy. Like,
that's a tilting round.
You just see him hop, but he's like, let me back in! Yeah, he's gonna brush that off.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. That's my bad.
But that's a 3-2 difference instead of 4-1. That's a big deal.
A big blunder from Gen G.
And once again, Faze just go right back to the middle of the map. Zuma able to find first blood, but that's bomb down as Naga able to find a seam. And they're gonna catch Naga, and they've done a great job just isolating that player on the B site.
Nice shots from Zero to get him a 4v2. No trade onto Zuma though, but they still have the man advantage. Scraps just gonna stick this. So you got no one looking over you. He tries to challenge Havoc up top, and Havoc able to make it a 2v2. He had no help there to try and get the plant down.
Yeah, maybe should have played that a little bit more patiently.
Wow.
Now it's a 1-on-2 for Zero.
Yeah, so Gen G throws away around. Now looks like Faze Clan might do the exact same thing.
Yeah, not sure what the comms were, what the callouts were, but he obviously felt safe.
Oh, he did not think Havoc was playing top. That's for sure. That must have been a blown call out.
Well,
we're not done yet.
He's gonna try and rotate this. I don't know if he has the time.
Yeah, you better strap on your Nikes and get going.
I mean, maybe he's gonna try and catch Mox. I don't. Mox is just gonna run away.
Yeah, you need Zero needs to be Usain Bolt in this scenario. Not fast enough. Well, I mean, those 2 rounds just they counter each other out. Nice shots to give him a chance in the round. So what, that brings us to 4-2. Gen G still alive and well. Avoid that 5-1 deficit. Gen G now back to offense. And this is what they did. There's a couple rounds ago where they had the 5v3, they traded effectively and just swarmed them. There's the first pick. Now you've still got numbers. The rotation desperately coming in from FaZe Clan, trying to get in the action. Scraps trying to make sure he gets involved. He's still worried about a mid-map push as well, but the bomb is already going down today.
We've done this retake before, but yeah, not in a 3 versus 5. But just like that, it's a 3 versus 2, Gen G.
What are some of these rounds now with 1 versus 1? Mox the last one standing, going up against Celium. Sub 30 seconds on the clock. Celium spots him for a second. 3 centers, can't snap. Mox clutches. Round to Gen G.
I don't know what happened or how it got from a 5 versus 3 to a 2v3, but Mox with a big couple of kills with the ICR in a very close range area. Just plays his life inside of towels, and I think he hears him right there when Celium slides away. See that re-snap.
Well, Celium, I mean, he probably should have won that gunfight. I know it's a little awkward. He's coming out of a heel. Well, I think we first started shooting that was still hip fire, maybe based off the end of the heel. So, yeah. I mean, you would take a Maddox to that range, but yeah, I'd have to watch it back. I think it was hip fire to kick it off. But you saw how many bullets went by him. He just didn't get lucky with he didn't get blessed with the hip fire at all. I don't think anything connected whatsoever until he was able to center.
And you see the way Naga has sort of changed this defense up in how the rest of his team has. They go back to that 1-3-1. Mid-control, bomb being planted out, nobody down for Gen G. EMP out, that's going to give them some information. And now FaZe is going to try to back away, back down this street, right? Typically how we see these post-plant positions from the attacking side.
Well, it's a big fight in the back between Envoy and Zero. Envoy, it's a huge pick.
I thought you should run away.
Now it opens up the defense from FaZe. They've got to shift focus. That's the call to push from the front, but it seems so far able to hold it. Scraps with a one-on-one. Envoy doing everything he can to give them a chance inside of this round. Celium may be caught as well, trying to get away. Can't do it. Envoy with 3. They're already on the bomb. Celium gets the kill, but nobody left up for FaZe, and that's going to get us to 4-4. What a play from Envoy, and now Havoc, 25 off streaks.
I thought Zero was just playing for information. I mean, I know you have the ICR, but
as soon as he dies, you can just watch the red arrows scramble.
Yeah,
everyone starts to scramble.
And Asim did a great job. He found 2 kills on the street to just slow down this push. I think he made it more of a round than what it was. Celium almost actually found Havoc there. You see Havoc, he's like, I had 2 HP.
But what a play from Havoc on the flank. Or sorry, Envoy on the flank. Wins the opening gunfight, gets a second as well. And then ultimately, what, 3 in the round. Now oh, sorry, it's Mox 25 off streaks. Not Havoc.
Did they give him the bomb? No, they did not. They didn't give him the bomb. But he's just going to try and get an assist. Here's the change zone. Nobody towards B. 1 player top middle, 4 stacking this A site. Ready for this push from Gen G.
I knew they needed to change something.
Oh, nice nade. Oh, the trophy, though, able to save Havoc.
That gets him a streak. That gets him a streak, too.
Yes, it does. Keeps Havoc alive. He's going to spot Azuma in the corner. He's going to peek. She finds the second kill. 3 versus 4 now. It feels like Envoy and Havoc starting to take over a little bit on the search and destroy.
Zero now left in a 1v2. Still a ton of time to work with. They're just going to push him out. He's trying to back up. They're chasing him down. You just got to go. You just got to get away as fast as he can. He's able to get out of it. Now put the pressure onto Gen G to get this bomb plant down. They're just going to wrap back and handle it. And Zero's just terrified. He's like, are they chasing me still?
Yeah, he's hoping they're planting towards B because they pushed him out. Still has some time to work with, but has to play this pretty quick. He has a long way to run. A lot of area to check.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be, what, 25 seconds on the clock by the time he engages. That's a Maddox to work with. Has to go. And they're doing a great job just shouldering. Not going to have stim up in time. Nice clutch there in the 2v1 to get the 5th round on the board.
It just feels like the energy for Gen G. I mean, 3 rounds in a row now. Starting to get some multi-kills towards their way. Get Envoy, get Havoc going. You see the adjustments happen. I think Zuma just tries to be a little sneaky there. Scraps gets caught out.
What else can FaZe do at the A site? I mean, that's what, is that 3 offenses in a row from Gen G where regardless of what FaZe tries to do, they're getting beat off the site? I mean, you try playing your standard setup with 3 players there, one kind of watching mid, one over towards B. You try having 4 players inside, that still doesn't do it. Gen G just having their way with them at A.
Yeah, I think the next thing probably you hold 2 towards A, try to push 3 on the flank. We've seen some teams do that before, just try to trap them in. But we'll see if he gets to another defense for FaZe. Nagafin throws the EMP out, gets some information, is going to spot 1 at B. It almost looks like FaZe is trying to throw a fake here. Not committing fully to this B site, yeah, and they're going to go back towards A. But only 1 player has moved to help Naga. You still have a couple set up in showers right now.
Yeah, but you've got massive numbers. I mean, it's a 5-on-2, 5-on-3 once Mox rotates over. Mox still has that lightning. They think they got them all to rotate. God, he almost gets 2, but Havoc does end up dropping. Gen G going to back out, bomb down on A. Here comes the lightning. Calls it in. Nagafin just flies in. The trade has to be there. There's a team kill, but 2v3 for FaZe. Scraps and 0. They've got to do it. 0 left in another tough 1v2. He will drop, and Gen G, they close out the search and tie us up at 1 apiece.
And I think just down the stretch, when it comes down to the nitty-gritty, you saw Gen G and the repetitions just have the advantage, right? When it comes down to those sort of 3 versus 2, 2 versus 3 situations, it favored Gen G.
And there were just a couple awkward spots for FaZe, which might be just because they're a new team. But like the time where Scraps tries to plant, and Havoc is just sitting up on the top
Oh, yeah,
balcony.
they don't clear
The time
it
where
out.
Asim goes there to plant at the end, and he just gets it's an easy pick for Gen G on the defensive end. Just a couple times where it's like I think they have the information.
Well, FaZe
and they
still won
just
that
don't.
round.
That's true. That's true. Well, it's going to bring us all square at 1 apiece. FaZe Clan, Gen G trying to rebound from their most disappointing week last week. Can they take control of the series? Map 3 up next. Welcome back. It's Control up next. FaZe Clan Gen G tied up 1-1. It's FaZe that clutches up in the big moment at the end of the hard point. Then Gen G, despite the fact they have a bit of a blunder in one of the mid rounds, what was it, Envoy, they couldn't get back into the map. They're still able to hold on, get the win. The guys were hyped afterwards. I saw him kind of laughing. I think I heard Envoy yell, "I've never had that happen before."
Just gets a little bit caught. But yeah, I mean, I think for FaZe it was a solid search and destroy. I heard some of them talking on the stage, sort of mid-round situations. I thought they made some solid adjustments. Their offenses looked great, but it was the Gen G attack inside that A site that was just a little too strong for FaZe, where they just played their numbers game.
Yeah, something to talk about tonight. Watch the VOD, what went wrong. At least you know, like, I feel like you can really narrow it down to a specific spot that they just weren't good at, and they can try to fix. We'll see if they can maybe, over the course of this week, start to improve if we see them on Gridlock Search and Destroy again. But it'll be Seaside Control. We saw this in our previous series as well. This will be our decider for who takes control of this best of 5. It's our final one for the night. We still have 2 days of matches then remaining for Division A. We'll have our weekend. We got Hot Mic to film, trading shots as well, and then Division B roll on in.
I'm excited to see some of the Division B teams in action, but we got a little bit to go to get there. 4, make it all 5, gonna go down right off the start for Gen G. A beautiful start for FaZe. They're gonna 3-stack this point and try to cap it as quickly as possible. Gen G should have another chance to go, and here they come. They have 2 players, top mid, 3 pushing through the side.
Zuma does a great job top mid, picking up one and damaging another to delay that push. They're actually able to trade out the kill mid-map. So there's no pinch in for Gen G. Zuma huge in winning that first gunfight. Now 7 life advantage. Very, very early in this one. It just continues to grow behind a team kill from Gen G. The pinch is through. That's a mean head he has at the back van. There you go. You're able to solidify at least for a second as you get 3 down. Mox just goes flying out in the mid-map though, and will be punished.
I mean, you got an 8-kill lead with 2 minutes left. I'm playing kills right now. FaZe. Just play those outer parts of the A site. Gen G, you're gonna have to try to hold within. Good job by having to try to back away, but re-challenges and gets taken down, and here we go. It's just gonna be straight spawn kills right now for FaZe. That's all they're thinking. Only 10 lives remaining for Gen G, and I mean, this is just all FaZe, 21-7.
You're literally, he just spawned up and is spinning in circles because he's just taking damage immediately. Zero tries to go vertical, but will drop. The presence from FaZe, though, inside the point. Nice stun towards the back from Zuma. That gives him a freebie. Tacks on the second as well. A contest is in, but there's only 3 people remaining from Gen G. This is a big first round from FaZe Clan. They made that look clinical.
Yeah, just right from the go where they're able to get 5 down. They're just going to jump off the map. The reason for that, they don't want to give any more progression towards those specialists for FaZe. And we saw Midnight do that earlier in the day against Reciprocity.
We'll see the best play now from Zuma. Wins a one-on-one out front. I believe this is where he hits the stun and able to get 2 more behind it. But he did a great job mid-map in the opening to get the first point. And does a solid job here to get 3 down, make sure they can close it out and get the round victory.
I think it was Zero, too, who started 8-1, but he found like 3 with an ICR off their break off, which helps them greatly as he had an 8-3 start.
Now can Gen G answer back offensively? You know how difficult it is to get offensive round wins. FaZe have already done one of the tough bits. They're able to go right at A. Scraps hears it, starts to pre-fire. Heard him yelling to his teammates, they're here, they're here. Heard him screaming just for the rotation to come across and the help to be here. How much damage can Gen G do? It doesn't look like much. 1 life advantage for FaZe. All 5 from Gen G are going to drop. We listen to the comps from FaZe Clan in the map 1. I want to hear the Gen G side now. Let's go to an Astro Gaming listening with Gen G.
Hold it, Mike, hold it. All right, there's 2.
Yo,
sit in you, sit in you.
2 outer, 3 outer.
Challenge it.
Go, some 3, one that door.
There's 2 there. Nice, he's dead.
One there. 2 their door.
Challenge our door, challenge our door.
3 their door, 3, 2 more.
Challenge.
2 more their door.
Outer.
Nice, 3. Go mid.
Last one, 0 with an ICR.
I'll have your outer.
I'm watching on you.
I have your outer. Look their door. I'm pushing outer.
I have an ICR.
I think they're backing up.
Stacking.
They have a trophy.
1 mid, guys.
2 different streaks.
I'll look on top of the stage.
Work left from me.
I'm waiting for top to speak.
There's three here. I'll kill top.
Okay, I'm waiting.
There's top.
No one on the point.
One more. Step. Go left on me.
Watch my checkers. Small. Not challenging. And checkers probably checkers.
Checkers
not challenging. Checkers.
We have. I hear you.
Gingy able to get B quickly, but not going to enjoy the life advantage that we saw for FaZe and their push. 3 down now for Gingy. Nagafin, the last remaining player, pushed up. He's 155 off streak, so wants to play his life. See if he can pick these up. Oh, just flirting with disaster.
I don't think he expected them to actually chase, and almost gets caught. It's all the way hit down to 13. Trying to stay alive, though, able to do so. But yeah, the big difference is FaZe, when they pushed that lead out, it was, a 14 kill difference. FaZe has the advantage. The good thing, I guess, for Gen G, they have one tick in towards the A side. And just look at the map pressure you have from FaZe.
Look at Major Maniac.
Yep.
A chance to make a big play. Nice patience. Now gonna opt to hop in. Havoc wins his one-on-one as well, and now you're in.
Yeah.
You've got, what, 3-4 players inside. Look how fast it's going. It is just in cruise control right now. FaZe have to get in. They can test at the final moment, but it's not enough for a drop. The point's in, and so far, so good offensively for either team.
Yeah, again, that one tick makes all the difference, right? Because if that tick's not there, they have to get all 3. FaZe has probably a much cleaner attack to try to get in. It was a bit of a desperation to just try to flood on through.
Yeah,
off
you don't have any
spawn.
choices. You don't have any choices when it's like that, yeah. 4-man stack, 2 points to get. Not a lot of decision-making goes into that. It's just fly. Well, who the hell can tighten it up on defense? Envoy's almost got his War Machine. You've got, what, 3-4 players close to stuff on the FaZe side as well. Just a little bit lagging from Gen G, just due to the fact that it wasn't as convincing of a round.
And Envoy's in a spot this push through the middle of the map. Can he find a kill and stay alive? Able to do so, plus the rotations there. Still a 3 versus 3, but Gen G back on up. All able to find the 5 kills. Now Havoc 300 points away from some streaks.
Well, a lot different than the opening we saw in the first offensive round from FaZe Clan. They go opt to hit A. Don't find nearly the success as their B push, but now as they rotate over to B on their second spawn, they get in with ease. Gen G are going to have a chance to make this push. Envoy couldn't make the play through the top window of FaZe's side of the map. If they're going to try and make a play on this, they need to do it. They try, but they can't find any success at the back door or outer catwalk. And that's the opening point to FaZe. This time, at least, you're not down 8 lives. It's 22-22. But these specialists are going to start to come into play. TAC 5 out from FaZe for the opening push, and 0 puts it into a 5v4 as they start to
now you're kind of separated with how fast FaZe is going. Nagafin trying to track all the way back. Like, he hasn't seen anything, and this is sort of a problem because now you have a stack from FaZe where they have 3 on the point. Basically, Nagafin was just trailing FaZe the entire time. Finally able to get back, is able to hang on, but that could have gotten scary there. Is now the life lead 3 for FaZe. Grab slam going to be used by Asim. He's going to connect with 2.
And he's able to get behind the wall to challenge the third.
He had some streaks.
4th around the edge, but his teammate gets it done. It would have been nice if he could put a shot in there to get the streaks, but still, you'll take the big play, and you'll more than likely take the point. Now 50 off. Can they set him up for some streaks? Nagafin almost tags him down. Offense.
I almost want to put that on Naga. Like, he's got to slow down the push from FaZe. Like, that's the whole point of that position. When you're pushed up in the enemy base, your goal is to just stagger the push, to give you numbers on the point. And he took such a long route all the way around. Those 2 players in barrels were able to connect with FaZe. The trades go in. Yes, he gets there. He gets a kill. But FaZe already have map control. They're already inside the point.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't get there before Zuma kills 2. And then Asim, he still stays up after that whole gunfight goes down. Hits the grab slam, gets the 3rd. They get the point. And Asim with that final bit of control on the A site does get the lightning strike to use. He's going to grapple right in.
Oh, Pulse as well. They're going to try and get it to
Oh my God,
with the
everyone's
Tempest.
down.
Now you can start to use these streaks. War Machine and used as well. They just used it all.
Yeah, and that's going to get them a lot of map control.
Well, I thought he was going to streak off spawn to try to get these guys, and we'll see if he does. You see him start to back on up. Zuma gets caught switching weapons.
Can they finally take out a seam there? They're finally able to do it behind the stun, but how good has he been in the 2 respawns? He was brilliant in the hard point. He's 19 and 10 now with the streaks to use. Envoy going to use his War Machine, but they're at risk of going down massively in the lives department. They were once down, what, as many as 6. Still down 5.
Lightning Strike was used by Seam. Doesn't connect with anything, but it doesn't matter because Zero, he's kept it up. 22 and 10 from him. Can Gen G hold on? I just don't know with all these streaks. You know Faze is using it all. They're able to connect. That's going to be all 5 dead. And only 35 seconds on the clock.
Bury him here.
Yeah,
use
just use
everything in your arsenal. Everything in your arsenal. Zero staggers the push once again. 3 are pushing out the roof side of the map. Mox can't even get eyes on the point, much less any progression. Now with 20 seconds to go, they've just got a sword. The grab slam habit tries to make a play. Nobody's home. His teammates are dropping to the lightning strike. 4 go down. Zero with 3 more. He's 26 in 12. Gen G have 1 more chance to get in. There's still 3 players from Faze stacked on the site.
18 to 6. Faze finally able to win a defensive round, but to me, this just connects to that last round, that last attacking round. I'm gonna bring it up again. Like, they just dominated that push, which gave them 3 caps, which gave Zero and Asim so many points leading into that defensive round where they're able to win the breakoff because they use all the specialists. I still have to point to that Naga play, that long route he takes. If he can somehow slow down the push of Faze the round earlier, maybe this doesn't happen. It's those little plays that we talk about where maybe Zero doesn't get streaks, maybe Asim, isn't set up for the grab slam. But Faze, I mean, their respawn looks solid.
Oh, I mean, 2 of those rounds were just
dominant.
Perfection.
Yep.
They absolutely crushed Gen G. This will get us now to a map 4, and the first hard point was, what, 250 to 247. It was absolutely a nail biter, unlike what we just saw on the control. Gen G are going to have to clutch up if they're going to get us to a 5th map. But wow, I think that just showed you how scary Faze can be when they're on fire. Like, they were just running through one of the top teams in the world in Gen G.
Yeah, Zero had a great game, but it's a solid duo, man. Like, we haven't touched much on Scraps or Celium. It's really been Asim who's stepped on up and had a great match.
And you saw, who was it that used all the streaks and did nothing off?
UIU.
It was UIU. They got, nothing out of the streaks. You saw there, they play it behind the specialists instead. Then once they get the first wave down, then you start to invest the streaks and get set up. A little bit different than what we saw earlier that you were pretty critical of. That went a lot better.
I've seen it off spawn that way.
They're just spamming them.
Yeah, like, it's not a league play game.
Well, if FaZe Clan learning the search and destroy, they need to tighten up their defense on the A side on Gridlock. I think we saw Gen G now learning they've got some things to certainly work on.
Arsenal, right? Yeah.
Yep, that'll be the last 2. But Gen G have definitely got some things they need to go back and take a look at with regards to the control. I mean, it obviously gets very difficult in any control once you give that many streaks to the opposition, but I'd have to go back and watch the Nogafin play and see if he's got awkward timing where he still thought he was hunting 1 player down off spawn, or see what went down there that they stuck through. Because, yeah, once he realized he had to track back, I mean, he was just so far behind.
I think there's a different route he can take, can probably cut off the spawns.
Yeah.
Those 2 players are just thinking, we're going to hit barrels.
I just didn't notice it until he was basically backtracking, like how far behind he was. So I just have to see how
he gave them a 5 versus 4 on the point. And again, what that turns into is 3 streaks.
Yeah. Map 4 now underway. Right into lab we go. And Zero holding the pillar with the RCR as Major Maniac continues to try and jiggle peek. Not a kill on the board yet, as both teams just feeling each other out. Completely contested inside.
This is not typically what we see on an Arsenal breakoff. Usually a grapple is invested as they slide on across, but Gen G behind Major Maniac and Mox's ICRs are gonna.
It was almost like, who's gonna make the play first? Like, who's gonna bite?
Yep.
Somebody's got to be the aggressor. Finally, it does go into Gen G's favor. But 2 are gonna drop. It's a 3-man hit to window as FaZe Clan have found a timing. 2 players respond there from Gen G, but not before FaZe Clan will be able to get in. Celium and Zero lock down basically everybody. 1 team kill from FaZe Clan, but they're able to get to the hard point and get a bit of the time, but really not much earned from either end of it. The entire left side of the map right now patrolled and locked down by FaZe Clan as they continue to control inside office. Celium still dancing, dashing, winning gunfights. But now we'll shift focus to the other side of the map towards the hard point. Asim doing him dirty in the pocket here inside the hard point.
Just great map control by FaZe on that rotation. Celium and Zuma do a great job towards this cafe side while Zero was holding guns. I mean, we've already had 30 seconds. You've had 1 contest where Asim was able to find the kill. Finally, the Gen G does find something, but it's going to turn into streaks for Zero, who continues his hot performance from game 3. 6 in a row for him. And that was a perfect hill number 2 out of FaZe.
A streak gonna come in right away. Gets 1 as Major Maniac tries to dip in events, but they want to have the man advantage on the other side of the map, and they're able to get just that.
Well, they got the player backstairs, and they forced them 1 in events. It gave them the positioning that they wanted. We'll see if Gen G can fight on back as Mox is here. But yeah, they have all of Gen G spawning out front now. Zero still trying to stay up. Asim in the back with that ICR. We'll see if Zero's going to invest the lightning as well. Doesn't look like it. Snaps on an endpoint. Has the help from Scraps, and Zero is just beaming right now.
Yeah, just get away from him. Get away from him. 10 in a row for Zero as he is just decimating Gen G. The lead continues to build. His streaks have been used, but he might get another set of them with the way he's playing. How far can this streak go? Let's stay on with Zero. Stay on with Zero. Now a baker's dozen, 12 in a row, as he is just crushing 115 away from more streaks, as this is at risk of being a 100 to 23-point game. He has 1 death. Unbelievable.
And this is why a lot of people were excited to watch him be that main AR, because back in Infinite Warfare, when that Splice team was able to win a title, it was one of the reasons they won it. Like, his main ARs can just be so deadly, and he's showing it here now.
Finally, he drops it. It's when he's 15 points off another set of streaks. We don't often see people re-wrap, but he was very, very close to doing so. This is a massive hard point for Gen G, though. You have been destroyed in the opening of the game. You need to solidify, start to get some points on the board, slow it down, and start to bring it back. This is a big chunk of time that they desperately, desperately needed.
Yeah, looks like they're going to be able to do so as well with 18 seconds left. FaZe, their eyes already on that rotation. Well, it's really just 2 of them. It's Scraps and Asim towards the backside. 4 players here from Gen G. They should be able to trade on out, but Asim wins 1 gunfight. Scraps with another. Somehow, they have the map position back here. You had the numbers if you were Gen G on this rotation. It's a bit of a blunder in that 4 versus 2, and Asim has done such a great job staying alive. And look at where you're spawning now if you're Gen G, so far out.
And we talk all the time about how important
he's still alive.
How important entry sogs are to find kills, but even more than that, it's just staying alive and being annoying sometimes. Just allowing your ARs to look over you and just being a nuisance. That was brilliant from Asim.
And that could have been 2 hills in a row for Gen G, and tying the game, taking the lead, where now it's a 70-point game again. It's almost like that deficit they worked so hard to cut down is right back as Asim continues. As he finds 2 more kills, and now they have inner control as well, setting up for this first hill.
Zero's on another 5 streak. If anyone wondered what this switch to ICR would do for him,
yeah,
be it hindrance or he would find it difficult, I think the answer is a resounding no. As he's beating the living hell out of Gen G right now, and close to streaks for a 3rd time. I know he didn't get him the 2nd time, but
this time he can get on the hill, though. Season, you get on the hill, get some points, and yeah, those should be streaks. In just a few seconds, at least the lightning coming on in. There it is. He's in a spot Major Maniac. Somehow able to find Mox as well. The beatdown came on in. Now a 100-point lead for FaZe. But Major Maniac and Envoy are here.
Just about 100-point advantage.
23 and 5.
That stat line is absolutely insane. I mean, you've got Scraps having a hell of a game too. He's 14 and 6. He's having a good performance, but it doesn't look that great when you see 23 and 5 right next to him on the top banner.
We just haven't watched him very much, and there's a bit of a reason.
This needed to be the zero show. There's no reason to watch anyone else with the type of performance he's putting on, now making sure he secures the back spawns for his team. And look again how pushed out they are.
Yeah.
They've got garage control. Look at where Asim is, all the way pushed up the backside artillery. Look at where you're spawning if you're Gen G. Like, this has just been destruction, especially on this particular hard point. What was it last time the pressure from Gen G came around the 30-second mark the first time through?
Yep.
It's gonna be right around the same time here. This is insanity.
And FaZe holds on once again. They hold on once again, and on this rotation, from second to third, they're gonna have streaks as Scraps is able to find 2 kills. Tempest does come out from Major Maniac, able to connect on to Scraps, but he's not able to finish it. So Scraps is still up. Havoc's gonna have to invest in the grab slam. Can he find the 2 kills? No. I mean, it's just desperation time. Now Scraps is 30 points away from streaks, so that'll be even more for Gen G to go up against. But this has been a dominant hard point from FaZe Clan behind a couple of incredible performances.
Asim got a great timing there where he spotted him rotating towards the back, so he's going to pick him up, make sure they've got control of the back steps, and now the collapse can come in through lobby. You still have the lightning available on Scraps as well. Zero's used all of his tricks. Lightning in, Asim slides into one, but it's not going to matter as you get 2 on the Gen G side as well. They're spawning out, and FaZe Clan 10 points away from closing this one out in a 3-1 fashion. And how good have they looked in these past 2 respawns?
And this is sort of what, what the Des was talking about, that they've looked so good in respawn. Can they put a search together? I thought they had a stellar Game 2 performance, a couple of key mistakes that I'm sure they'll go back and watch. But if they can clean up search and destroy, this is now a team where you're like, they can compete to be one of the best teams in the world. In Gen G, now the last 5 matches they've had will be 1-4.
Didn't see that one coming.
No.
Then again, didn't see Gen G or EG being 4-1. Like, we've definitely had some results that were very unexpected heading into this.
A couple of the teams that have made roster changes, really starting to improve right now.
Nagafin with 3, but unfortunately, too little, too late. They just have to clear the final contest, but they haven't yet been able to do it. Just one more point needed, and there it is. Selim gets the final 2, and FaZe close it out. What a performance from Zero, Scraps, and the FaZe lineup to get the win. Zero just, what a game.
I think Mox just said something to, like, Trey, like, you were going off. Like, I don't know. It's sort of just like, dude, great game, right? Like, what else are you supposed to do? It was one of those where a superstar just took over.
When he's going that big, you got to think he's winning that one-on-one with Mox basically every time. When you got stats like that ICR on ICR battle, he's just opening up the entire map for his team and still finding all of the kills. Zero, what a game from him. And Joe, I feel pretty good about the final argument on trading shots.
I bet you do. I was going to bring that out.
Zero most improved throughout the course of this. Like that. Woo! What did he just yell?
I don't know. I have no idea.
That was incredible to watch. FaZe get it. That's our last series of the day. But yeah, I guess I'm sort of with you, where I'm starting to think. I did think that Gen G was going to make this more of a contest. I know the map 1 was really close. It the search and destroy, but I thought they were actually going to come out and take this. But FaZe and Zero, Big Papa, you were a monster in that game 4. It's the PlayStation Instant Reaction. Who else could it be?
Thank you, Clint. Before this match, I spoke with your teammate Asim. He said that FaZe just matches up really well versus Gen G. Why is that?
I feel like all my players on my team are just better than this. That's simple fact. Simple fact. There's not much I can else say, really. My team's just filthy.
That's fair. You've gotten several good wins lately, and even when you fell to Optic last week, you took them all the way to map 5. So what is it that's just going right for FaZe lately?
Just our respawns. Our S&D is lacking. Like, we know it is. We should have won that. We should have won that 3-0 in my opinion. But like I said to these, like when the Seaside started, like we have our arguments like after the S&D, but every S&D loss is making us better in that mode. Like in my opinion, we're focusing on what mistakes we're gonna go back and watch what we did wrong, come back. Listen, if we start getting better S&D, I don't know what we can do, but it's gonna be good.
And that's something I've heard you say before, is really using the league to just get better and constantly improve. So with that in mind, what are you expecting for the remainder of the matches this week?
Just keep doing what we're doing on Respawn. Like, every win to us is super important. Just the vibes in the team are good. The chemistry's really good. As you can see, like, we all just really like each other. So just continue what we're doing in Respawns this week and just focus on our S&D, preparing for playoffs, Anaheim and champs.
That's awesome to hear. Thank you. This has been your PlayStation Instant Reaction. Back to Katie at the desk.
Thank you so much, Jess. And there you have it, a 3-1 win, FaZe Clan taking down Gen G, and just a phenomenal, impeccable performance there from Zero. I mean, especially in that last map study, he was just incredible.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he started the map 12-1, ended the game 25.
Almost rewrap streak.
That's honestly unbelievable. And then you had Scraps, who was basically positive 12, and Asim. The entire series for me was an absolute unit. But this series literally came down to the third map for me. It was Todd 1-1, and then I saw Nagafa make the worst play I've ever seen in control. That was a super duper whooper flank. I've never seen that. He went to their spawn, then decided to go he did a full entire circle just to get one kill. Just to get one kill. It didn't make any sense to me. That's what I'm talking about.
He's been struggling recently. I think that's probably why he decided to go for that super flank.
He could have just flanked like Fountain. Cut it in like 20 seconds off that flank.
You know what's crazy is because like he flanked and none of his teammates got a kill on anyone else, so no one was off spawn. And that was like the worst play I've ever seen.
But like you said, Asim had like probably the best series I've ever seen him play. He actually like I didn't think that he was gonna become that good. He surprised me. This FaZe team in general surprised me. Their respawn is super strong from top to bottom. It looked to me like Zero hit his natural role. I know he's super versatile, used the Maddox, Sog, whatever, but as a main ICR player, Zero looks absolutely phenomenal in this game. What he was doing on that last map was so impressive. I'm really looking forward to FaZe fixing their search and destroy, because I want to see what they can do at the next major.
Well, and to Pac's point, Nameless, I mean, we've talked a little bit about how we wanted to see more from Selling. We've seen it. We wanted to see more from Asim. We've seen it. And this team just keeps getting stronger and stronger.
Yeah, I mean, they've gotten really good over the last few matches, and especially in that one right there, that was a statement game playing against Gen G, who's been pretty consistent over the last, few months or so. And even though Gen G have been losing in the final moments and losing some of these matches, they're a formidable opponent. And for them to beat them like that, especially the way they did in games 3 and 4, is extremely impressive. And you heard Zero talk about it. If they're able to fix their search and destroy, they're a championship contender. He thinks that his team is one of the most star-studded lineups. And, I got to sort of agree with him now after what I've seen them do.
Yeah, I mean, that was certainly a very dominant performance. Now let's look at our standings, see where things are falling. Of course, Optic, Gen G still at top, FaZe moving on up. And again, I mean, just such a statement from them. I think Gen G, even with their struggles though, of course, they were so dominant before that still sitting steady in second place.
Yeah, for the simple fact that they just started out so hot. They started with Space Lead, they went 6-1, and now they're 10-6. They just have not been having that clutch factor that we just continue to talk about. Simple fact that that game one was really close. Came down to the wire. Then Asim just did something, probably got a 2-piece dash punch, and just closed the game out. And then the S&D was pretty good play on the side of Gen G. Besides that one round, we saw Envoy jump out the map. I didn't even understand.
Yeah, I think he like jumped.
He couldn't get back in, right?
So when that happens, for those of you at home, you have to wait a second for you to get your super jump back.
Yeah.
Because if you haven't jumped in a little bit, you get sort of a bigger leap, and he kind of just tried to jump back in super fast. He was like,
the baby jump.
You get the little baby hop. Yeah, so you got the baby hop a few times, couldn't get back in the map. So that was definitely unfortunate.
Yeah, that was tough. Probably not exactly what he was going for. But let's talk about our Astro MVP speculation now. And we do need to go with Dylan from Reciprocity. And again, he's another one of those players that I think we wanted to step up, see what he can do, Pac-Man, and we've been seeing it here so far.
He's led his team back to a 2-0 week without one of their players, with Dins, who's just started to play again, and he's been phenomenal. Return to that superstar status that we saw at Fort Worth. Every single map, it feels like he's been doing his thing, and I don't know, man. He's disgusting again.
Well, yeah, that's what Dens was talking about in the interview. He's like, my goal on this team is to just set Dylan up put him in the positions he needs to be in and set him up for success. And so far, so good. Dylan's been going off, and you got to attribute some of that to his teammates, right?
Yeah,
Like Shawnee,
that's what I was
those
gonna
guys
say.
just putting him in those spots. Like, go do your thing. I'll go in the back.
Like, we were talking about Zed just being one of those inconsistent players, but every time we're talking about Dylan just being that absolute superstar that he is, Zed is also playing really well. And when those two are clicking, Dylan is obviously going to outperform because Dylan is just unreal, like, with everything that he does on the map. And he definitely deserves my MVP for today.
I agree.
Yeah, well, and to that note, looking at our PlayStation damage dealt leaderboard, once again, Dylan is still sitting at top, Scraps and Gunless following right behind him.
One person for me is going to be Methods. That win